Hello Gemini, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is your weekly tarot forecast. Please like, comment, and subscribe, especially if this reading resonates with you. And also go check out the other videos that may pertain to you for your sun, moon, or rising signs, because that'll give you a much more dynamic picture of what's going on this week, all right? So let's just get into it now for Gemini. What does Gemini need to know for this coming week? First card today is the Knight of Cups. There's going to be some movement in the realm of emotions and feelings today. Ooh, and some more good cards. We're going to lay out the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread, which is going to include our confirmation card, our mystery card. Now, we're not going to reveal that until the very end, so stick around. And this is going to hopefully tie the reading together, give us that confirmation, that kind of missing piece that we're looking for at the end, okay? So, a lot of stuff going on. The Path of the Dove first. I kind of wanted to go to the Path of the Serpent because there's a lot of stuff over here that I think is pretty serious. But we're going to start with the Path of the Dove. And we're going to see that we have the Knight of Cups and the Two of Cups. So this really is about some major developments in your love life, your romantic life, the expression of your feelings of joy and pleasure and satisfaction in connection with some other person, right? Now that person could be this water sign. Could be maybe a Cancer sign because it is the Knight of Cups there, and that sometimes represents Cancer more than the other water signs, but it could be Pisces, could be Scorpio. But there's a lot of movement there. There's a lot of activity in terms of the relationship with that person. Now, if this is not a water sign for you, it could be someone that has some very watery aspects to their personality. They could be someone who kind of wears their heart on their sleeve, is very open and expressive with their emotions, right? It could be someone who is kind of the opposite of that, who tends to not express their emotions, but every once in a while, you really get a glimpse of their emotions. When they feel something intensely, it's very hard for them to hide it, right? But I think more so it's going to be a water sign in your life. Either way, there are some major developments with that relationship. Okay, there's a lot of love and connection and harmony there that I'm seeing. I'm feeling like it's really a close bond with this person. And I don't know if this is your current person or if this is whoever is going to be coming your way this week, but it really is a strong, strong connection. And there's going to be some major developments in terms of that connection, those feelings between the two of you, right? With the Two of Cups, this is kind of like, you know, that love energy is being poured really into both of you. And I think that you're both going to be feeling this just swelling of emotions this week. And it's going to be something that's going to bring you guys closer together. Okay. So Gemini, let's move on here now to, so we got a lot of court cards here. The next one is this Knight of Wands. And this could be indicating that you recently got out of a situation with someone of a fiery nature, maybe a fire sign, right? An Aries or the Leo or the Sagittarius person in your life. I think something recently happened with them that maybe you just got out of this relationship with them. Or alternatively, this could be that there was a really quick beginning to this current relationship with this watery person that we're talking about, right? I'm not sure yet which way that is really tending toward, but there is this fiery energy that happened recently. Now, again, this could be the abrupt ending of your previous relationship or the abrupt beginning of this new current relationship. I'm kind of leading towards the former just because of the way this is kind of positioned. This knight seems like he's kind of galloping away from the current situation, so I wonder if this isn't either the abrupt ending of a relationship or this fiery sign in your life who just kind of up and took off, right? Or who you maybe ended things with. But it happened abruptly, and I think it happened recently. Okay, the next court card we have is this Queen of Swords, and this is kind of the dominating energy over this situation today. And I wonder if this isn't either a part of you who is trying to look at this situation objectively, because it seems like there's a lot of intense emotions going on, right? We have these cups, we have this Knight of Cups, we have this Knight of Wands, a lot of emotions, a lot of energy and excitement going on. So I wonder if this card isn't representing that part of you that is trying to not get overwhelmed by these emotions, to look at things objectively and figure out what you should do, where you should go, what you want to involve in, how serious do you want to get with this person, that sort of thing, right? So I think that this Queen of Swords is representing that part of you that is trying to remain objective, trying to sort out your love life kind of in an objective, kind of detached way, where you're not just going to get lost in all of these emotions, all of this excitement. You're really going to try to think clearly about it. Now, I also am led toward that conclusion because we have so many swords here. The first sword we come to, other than that Queen of Swords, of course, is this Ace. And this is in the position of the immediate future. Now, we're still on the path of the dove here. And this is that Ace of Swords that is saying, yeah, you do succeed in looking at this situation objectively and a little bit detached. You're not getting just completely consumed by these emotions and all this excitement. You're able to think rationally and think clearly, and I think that you really do come to the perfect conclusion, a good decision. You make up your mind what you want to do and how you're going to move forward with all of this emotional energy, right? So your efforts to remain detached and be objective and think rationally and think clearly do succeed, and you have this kind of unified thought, and you're very organized in your thinking, and you come to a decision, you come to a plan for the future, right? So you kind of make up your mind what you want to do or how serious you want to get with this person. Now, we said that things happened very quickly, either an abrupt end to a previous relationship or an abrupt beginning to this current situation with this Knight of Cups that we're talking about, okay? With this thing here. Now, we said there was something abrupt that happened, right? But then we also see this World or Universe card down below in the tendencies, the unconscious kind of drives that you have. I think that what this is saying is that you don't like things to happen this quickly. You like things to be a little bit slower. You like to take things cautiously and slowly. You don't like the rush. You don't like that abrupt feeling, okay? And I say that not only because we have this Universe or World card, but because this was the only fire card in the spread today. Now, we're going to get to the Path of the Serpent in a moment, but this is the only fire card that we have. The only wands, the only fiery energy. So that deserves some special attention, and I think what it's saying is the only fire, the only abrupt energy like that in your life was the abrupt ending of that past relationship. Otherwise, you tend to be more thoughtful, more rational, more slow-paced and deliberate in your actions and in your thinking and in your decision-making. So this abrupt event was kind of an anomaly. It kind of was an unwelcomed, abrupt event, right? And so there is this tendency to take things slowly and want to have the time and space to think things through. All right. But the good news is we have these wonderful swords here, like this Queen of Swords and this Ace of Swords, that show me that you are going to be thinking things through, thinking clearly, coming to an appropriate decision in your own time. You're not going to feel rushed into anything with this current or new person here that we're talking about with that Knight of Cups. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Path of the Serpent, which is showing some other interesting things that are not really related to love and emotions, but more related to your thought process, right? The first thing we have is this Hanged Man. And now I think the Hanged Man is your current deliberation or wondering, and maybe that's what all the thought is involved, the kind of objective thinking that we're talking about with that Queen of Swords. This Hanged Man could be saying that part of you is wondering if you should forego a romantic relationship right now and focus on other things, right? I think that maybe is part of your thought process, of your internal kind of deliberation and dialogue right now, is if you're ready for another serious relationship, if you really do want to take this one to that next level, or if you should forego the romantic relationship right now to focus on other things. Okay, so this Hanged Man is kind of saying, well, are you at a time in your life where you need to sacrifice that water, that emotion, that romance, that serious love relationship for other things? Okay, so I think that might be what's going on in your mind. I think also part of what's going on with you is probably related to this abrupt ending that I'm leaning towards this being an abrupt ending, because I think that there is still a little bit of pain or grief related to that. And so that kind of makes me think that if that relationship ended abruptly, excuse me, if that relationship ended abruptly, maybe there's still a tinge of grief or of pain, or just you're still processing that. And so maybe moving into another serious relationship is not really what you want to be doing right now. And so it's maybe the idea is to kind of work through this pain and grief and this, the kind of mourning of the past relationship, the one that ended abruptly, and process what happened there before getting into something serious with someone else, right? Because this Three of Swords really is in the position of your relationship with someone else, and there's some grief or some pain there. So that, of course, leads me back to that Knight of Wands, that abrupt ending. So it could be that this is still a factor in your thought process right now. Because again, we have more swords, and I think the reading is really focusing on the thought process, right? And then next we have the Two of Swords. And this is in the position of your concerns and your worries. And I think this is, it's related to all of these other cards, especially, I think, this World or Universe card and this Queen of Swords, saying that you really want to take your time and make the right decision. You want to give yourself enough time to really think things through and be objective and not be clouded by too much emotion, too much emotional energy, watery energy. And so your fear or concern is that you're going to be kind of pressured into a decision too quickly and that you may make the wrong decision. Okay, so it's almost like you want to take your time and think things through and be objective, but then at the same time you feel like if you wait too long, maybe the opportunity will pass you by. So it's kind of like these two swords here that are they have two different aspects to it. It's kind of contradictory thinking. It's kind of, these two kind of opposite plans or ideas, and you're not really sure what exactly to do. It's kind of like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't kind of situation. But I see that you really want to have that time to think things through objectively. And in your own time, you don't want to feel rushed or pressured. But at the same time, you don't want to lose the opportunity by delaying too much. Okay, so I think that's kind of also what's going on in your mind with this situation. That seems to be where your thoughts are at, or at least what the kind of deliberation is, at least in part. Now, the next card, and this is the kind of the long-term projection, I think this is really saying that, look, if you wait too long, if you do delay too much, you're right, the opportunity will pass you by. So you have to realize when you come to the point where you're just kind of overthinking and overanalyzing, where you've kind of beating a dead horse by that point, right? Where you have to know where the line is or where the limit is, beyond which you are just overthinking or like indulging in this just constant deliberation, right? You have to know when to stop. Because with this Eight of Swords, this is all about interference. It's all about your mind getting in its own way. And I think that you'll know when it starts to get to this point, when you're just kind of thinking just for the sake of thinking it through and analyzing, and where it's not productive anymore, it's just very redundant. Okay, I think you'll know when you get to that point, and then it's kind of time to like, hey, you got to make a decision. You got to just bite the bullet, so to speak, and decide what you want to do. Because I do think that you can come to a very quick decision, a very confident decision, one that you're just completely unified in, and there's no debate, there's no Two of Swords. It's just a singular decision that you're comfortable and confident in, but you have a tendency to drag things out and overthink. So it's kind of about reconciling those two ideas, okay? We are going to take a look now at this bonus mystery confirmation card, whatever you want to call it. And we have the Emperor. So this is some fiery energy again, which is interesting because we started out with this fire and saying, hey, look, you don't like to be rushed. You don't like things to be like a surprise. You don't like that abrupt energy or being pressured into a decision. And this is kind of taking that fiery energy and really owning it and saying, look, I'm not going to be forced into a decision. I'm not going to be pressured into reacting quickly or impulsively to the situation or agreeing to something before I've had time to really think it through. This is you really owning your own power and being this emperor, being this authority, the disciplined boss, right? Being the one in charge of the situation. And you're in charge of not other people, but yourself, of your thinking, of all of this air energy, all of this fiery energy, the fiery energy, yeah, but all of the swords energy, all of this air and all of this thinking. You're very much in charge of that, but you're also very much in charge of that fiery energy, that decision making, that impulsive energy, that excitement, all of that. You're in control of that, and so there is no need to feel that pressure to make the decision, right? So the Emperor is a very major confirmation here saying, look, you're not going to let anyone pressure you. You're not going to succumb to anybody else's like abrupt actions or pressure or being kind of forced into a quick decision in this. You're going to take your time, and you're going to have the confidence and the discipline and the authority over yourself to do that. So this is a wonderful confirmation. Now, the Emperor is also someone that can make a decision when the time comes. Okay, so this is not someone who's going to get stuck in this overthinking, overanalyzing mode. This is someone who, once they think things through, to the limit, to a satisfactory degree, they're going to make a decision and they're going to stick to it. Okay, so this, I think, is, it's really, the situation really is about this expansion of your love and romantic opportunities and all of that, but really what the cards then focus on is how are you going to deal with that increase of that romance and that love feeling and that watery connection with this person. Because remember, this is a good thing. This is wonderful, good feeling, satisfaction and love and romance and all of that. But you don't let your mind get in the way. You take your time, think it through, make your decision, stick by it, and I think this is going to work out quite well for you. Gemini, thank you so much for letting me read for you today. This was your weekly tarot forecast. We're going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, you can become a member of this channel, and the information is down in the description box. If you want a private reading from me, that information is also in the description box. It'll tell you everything that you need to know. And thank you again for letting me read for you today.